reasons why I love you and none of them rhyme. 9 times 9, 81, Bonnie and Clyde. We got high and sat by the Wellington sign. I had one hell of a time, it's rock and roll to life.
Welcome to the Green Tea, Freedom and Truth channel. This is Tristan. It's good to have the Green Tea team back for this Monday, the 21st of December 2020 edition of the video log. A big thank you and much appreciation for everyone who has liked, shared, commented and subscribed to the channel. I appreciate the Green Tea team. Here I am in beautiful Taupo, New Zealand. Here's the Great Lake and Mount Tauhara right there. So yesterday I did a video on the breaking news about the World Unhealth Organization claiming and backpedaling, saying that the test for the V-word-19, the RT-PCR test, is not good enough as a sole diagnostic tool for the V-word-19. That they are saying that other symptoms need to be present, close contacts, kissing someone with the V-word-19 is required. They cannot solely base locking someone away, removing someone's freedom of movement, freedom of association, their rights to move and travel based solely on this test. And one of the big reasons they are doing that is because four Germans travelled to Portugal. They were stopped at the airport, they were tested, and one of the people with no symptoms tested positive for the joke of a PCR test, and based on that test they were locked up and detained in a managed isolation facility. So they were effectively imprisoned for 14 days due to this test, and they sued the Portuguese government. They sued the Portuguese government for locking them away, and they won the court case. It was deemed that the PCR test was not sufficient and not sufficient evidence to lock people away, and also that the government had acted illegally, the Portuguese government. And this is very relevant for us in New Zealand, because in New Zealand the communist style totalitarian leadership government can forcibly test you and then quarantine you in the isolation detention camps. Court decides that quarantine in state of alert is illegal. The PCR test is unable to determine beyond a reasonable doubt that such positivity result corresponds in fact to the infection of a person with SARS-CoV-2 virus. The PCR test is unable to determine beyond a reasonable doubt that such positivity result corresponds in fact to the infection of a person with SARS-CoV-2 virus, says the Lisbon Court of Appeal, dated 21st of November 2020. The Lisbon Court of Appeal has considered that the quarantine period imposed by the Directorate-General for Health during the state of alert is illegal. So the test cannot determine clearly whether you are a case of the V-word-19 or not. Locking people away against their will due to a test was ruled illegal. These things have huge implications to this world situation. People are standing up, people are pushing back against this push for global communism. And really, it's an IQ test. It's a test in common sense. How can anyone think that getting a test that is highly inaccurate, up to 80% low to no symptoms, proven false positives, that they would base your freedoms, your rights and your movements on that? And I think it's wise for us as free-thinking, critical thinking individuals, not to spend our time trying to convince people who, if they saw on the news that would say go and get a test, they would line up to get a test. If they said stay home or social distance or wear a mask, these people, they are gone. Their common sense has left the building. Their free-thinking, critical thinking ability has left the building. They would still happily take a test, and if that test came back positive, they would be okay being taken to an isolation facility for a period of time to wait until the test was positive. No amount of contrary facts and information could change their mind. So let's save our breath on those people. Connect with people of a like mind, critical thinking, using your intuition and these types of faculties to see the holes bigger than Swiss cheese in this narrative. The decision taken on 11th of November 2020, which has as its object an appeal by the Regional Health Commission Administration of Azores, followed a request for habeas corpus immediate release for 4 German citizens who have been forced by the health authority to comply with isolation for 14 days in a hotel room. According to the process, there is no evidence that the diagnosis was actually carried out by a professional qualified under the law and who had acted in accordance with good medical practices. These acts are reserved for the exclusive competence of a doctor. The only element that appears in the proven facts is the performance of the PCR tests, one of which presented a positive result in relation to one of the applicants, reads the document. Additionally, any personal entity that gives an order that leads to deprivation of physical, ambulatory freedom of others, whether the nomenclature that this order assumes, confinement, isolation, quarantine, prophylactic protection, health surveillance, etc., which do not fall under the legal qualifications, namely not provided for in Article 27 of the CRP, you will be making an illegal detention because ordered by an incompetent entity and motivated by a fact of which the law does not allow it. It can be read. Governments around the world, including ours and in most Western countries, are acting illegally. As free sovereign beings, they are going against our human rights, our Bill of Rights, and we need to push back on that. And these are just some of the reasons why, as free-thinking sovereign beings, we can refuse the test. It is inaccurate. A positive test can give you social stigma. A positive test can make you lose your, get you locked up. And with the inaccuracies, what the World Health Organization is saying about the false positives, we are well within our rights, our human rights, as free sovereign beings to refuse this test. And the people that have been brainwashed, they will come around when they see their peers and other people, a majority of people standing up and showing the way and moving in the light of freedom and choice. Fear and control is that of the darkness. Please like, share and subscribe to the channel. Have courage, speak your truth, support each other, have faith and have fun. Peace out. They will never take the green tea teams. Oh, freedom!